What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to the Juventus Atletico Madrid post-match analysis video. And in almost every tie in the Champions League, the underdog went through, because after the first leg, Juventus were massive underdogs and they have never ever overcame a 2-0 away defeat in the Champions League. But then up steps Cristiano Ronaldo. What more can you say about this guy? This is his competition. No wonder Cristiano Ronaldo is the top scorer in Champions League history, because what he does every single year for the past like 7, 8, 9 years in the Champions League is nothing short of incredible, remarkable. He won 4 Champions League trophies in the last 5 seasons, which is insane. And then he joins Juventus and he still has that hunger, that motivation to push himself to the absolute limits, because make no mistake, this was Cristiano Ronaldo at his absolute best. And still, he has quite a few years left in him, because the way that he looks after his body, I think he can still go on and have at least another 3, 4, maybe even 5 seasons. But Cristiano Ronaldo said in an interview, if I remember, that he wants to play until he's 40 or until his body breaks down. And Atletico Madrid, I didn't agree with their tactics. They were very, very defensive, very passive. And in my opinion, that's asking for trouble. That's a recipe for disaster, because you just can't go to a team like Juventus just to defend for the 90 minutes. Especially when Juventus have Juventus have players like Cristiano Ronaldo. But I thought Emre Can had an outstanding game, and it was a very, very big surprise tactically for Simeone, and I think he couldn't cope with how Allegri set his Juventus team up, because Juventus don't normally play like that. Juventus don't normally play with Emre Can as like the holding midfielder and the pass master. Emre Can really was controlling the midfield. And also the fullbacks, the Juventus fullbacks went through so high up the pitch, which is also very unusual. Juventus don't play with the fullbacks, who are basically wingers. That's a first basically for Juventus. So tactically, Allegri surprised Simeone, and also Ronaldo was ruthless today, because apart from his 3 goals, he didn't have a lot of other chances. But that's what Ronaldo does. When it counts, when it matters, he delivers. And this is an outstanding performance. And I'm not even like a Ronaldo fan or anything, but I have to respect this guy, because what he has done in football is remarkable. Coming from a small island, Madeira in Portugal, to become one of the top 5 best football players in the history of football is incredible, an incredible achievement. And to still have the hunger, the motivation to work hard every single day, because Ronaldo could just sit back and sip on a cocktail for the rest of his life on an island, and he is set for life in terms of his money. But no, he still wants to become better and better and better every single day. And you have to respect that. You have to admire that grind, that motivation. And that's what impresses me the most about Ronaldo, that he is still working on his game every single day. And you could see how much it means to him. And I loved his post-match interview when the interviewer asked Ronaldo that, you know that Juventus has never done this before, coming from 2-0 down to win and go through. And Ronaldo said, yeah, that's why I came, to help Juventus. Basically he's saying, yeah, but they didn't have me before. And of course Ronaldo is one of the most arrogant players in football, but he has a right to be honest, because he is an incredible player. And Juventus also, Bernardeschi I think was outstanding. Juventus played really, really good football, and Juventus were actually big underdogs because they really struggled in recent weeks. I mean, I watched the Juventus-Napoli game, where Napoli actually dominated Juventus even with 10 men in the second half. but in the end Juventus still won the game. So they are very efficient, very ruthless, but even Juventus fans I think can agree with me that Juventus haven't been playing as well as they are expected to in the past few weeks. So this is a very, very big performance. And Juventus is always favorites for the Champions League, and Juventus is the only team who has a lot of losses in Champions League finals and just, I think, 2 victories. And this is why they signed Ronaldo. This is why they sold Higuain to AC Milan, or did they loan him out? I'm not sure, but basically they built everything around Ronaldo and around trying to win the Champions League. But they have to do it in the next 2 or 3 years, because I don't think that Ronaldo can keep these performances up until he's like 35, 36. But he's a lethal clinical finisher. So even when he gets older, I think he can play as a striker, because maybe he won't have as much pace, but he definitely will have the experience, the skill set to be a very, very good player, and he will have definitely the finishing, because the finishing, you never lose that, even when you get old. And Atletico Madrid had like 2 big chances, but they weren't like very big chances, and one of them was a long-range shot by Griezmann, which was actually comfortably saved by Szczesny. The other one, Morata, I mean, Morata, what can you say about this guy? At Atletico recently he has been scoring goals lately, but in the Chelsea team he was a massive failure. And today again he had one moment which if he takes that, the tie is over, because I just don't see Juventus scoring 4 or 5 goals against this Atletico Madrid defense, who by the way was very rattled. I don't see Atletico Madrid usually struggling this much defensively, but today they came up against a really, really strong Juventus team. And by the way, huge credit goes out to goal line technology as well, because if goal line technology wasn't in this game, I don't think that Ronaldo goal is given, the second one I mean. Because even in normal speed, you couldn't say that the ball was in. Honestly, I thought that Oblak saved it on the line, but goal line technology clearly showed, and the referee's watch signaled goal, that the ball was over the line by like this much. So it was very, very close. But did Juventus deserve it? Absolutely. I mean, they attacked throughout the 90% of the game, and Atletico Madrid just sat back, and they basically were hoping to lose this game 1-0 and go through. But oh boy, were they wrong, because this Juventus performance was one of the best, if not the best performances of the whole season. And also Juventus even had a goal disallowed. Chiellini scored in the 3rd minute and the referee disallowed it. The only thing that I didn't like about this Juventus performance is how Chiellini started play acting like if he was learning from Ronaldo in training or something. Sometimes he exaggerated some contact, and he had a big bust up, Chiellini, with Morata, which I found very interesting, because they used to be teammates. Remember that Morata was on loan at Juventus a few seasons ago from Real Madrid, when he was still a Real Madrid player. So Chiellini and Morata used to be teammates, but there was no friendship today between them, because they almost had a fight on the pitch, which was quite hilarious. And by the way, one of my best friends traveled to this game from Budapest. He didn't attend the game itself, but he got a ticket for his father, because he is a big Juventus and Ronaldo fan especially. And he was his father, who I also know him quite well. He was at this game in the stadium. What a game to pick to watch in the Champions League, because I think he picked one of the best games that he could have picked to watch Ronaldo, because this was a prime Ronaldo in his best form, scoring a hat-trick in the Champions League. Not the first and not the last hat-trick of Ronaldo in the Champions League. I mean, I lost count how many hat-tricks he has in the Champions League. Somebody leave that in a comment. Stunning performance. And now Juventus are one of the favorites in the Champions League. They have to be. Any team who has Cristiano Ronaldo in their team, they have to be favorites, because no matter how the opponent is playing, with Ronaldo in your team, you always have a chance. You always have a goal scorer who can score at any moment. And by the way, what a run by Bernardeschi before the penalty, which was a soft penalty, but I can see why the referee gave it, and I think it can be given. Some referees give those, others don't. What Correa should have done is just pulled out of the challenge, but instead he pushed Bernardeschi, and he also probably Bernardeschi's heel knocked Correa's leg, knee, and yeah, it was a soft penalty, but still nobody can say that Juventus didn't deserve it because they were outstanding. So let me know what did you think of the game in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. See you later, guys. Goodbye.